Here at Submarine Networks Europe, I'm talking to Keith Schofield, who is the chairman on day one. Keith, thanks for talking to us. In your view, listening to everybody, what have been some of the main talking points?
One of the key areas we looked at was the evolution of the submarine cable network industry. So we saw how historically the starting point had come for fibre optic cable networks, and then we looked at the changes which have occurred in the last 15 years, and in particular the move to wave-powered systems, which has meant that they're much more upgradable than they used to be. And we then began to look forward to the future and see some of the changes that we're expecting in the future, including some of the new networks which are being planned, which are pretty exciting.
And I think also one of the things that was a really hot topic was infrastructure investment and how that's changed.
It's been really interesting to see how the basis upon which people have made their decisions to invest in infrastructure has changed. So 15 years ago, there was something perhaps that you might think of as exuberant investment without really looking at where the traffic was coming from or indeed what the prospects were for it. That's all changed. Now we have a situation where it's much more orderly in terms of the investment in infrastructure. The market has learned how to evaluate the future prospects for traffic growth. We saw traffic growth predictions in the order of 60 to 90% per annum, traffic growth being predicted by those in the content community, and that has been driving infrastructure investment.
Yeah, tell us a bit more about these content players, because they are having more and more influence, aren't they?
Most certainly. So that's changed the ecosystem for submarine cable networks. Now you have entrepreneurial players putting in systems, and they're bringing in the content players to their cable networks. You have a much greater level of diversity and resilience going in the international submarine cable network. And so there's been quite a dramatic change that's resulted based upon the input of the content players, primarily because they're seeing how much they expect traffic to grow, and so therefore that's brought them in to invest in infrastructure itself.
And just generally, while we're here, this seems to have been a fantastic event. It's the first time there's been a Submarine Networks event in London. It seems to be, what's your perspective on it?
It's a great location because a lot of the money is here in London, so from that perspective it's a ready opportunity for them to learn about the infrastructure that submarine cable networks provide. So also in terms of where the scale of the marketplace in Europe is huge. Europe, Middle East and Africa, and London is a magnet for that kind of interest. So yeah, it's a great location.
Okay, thanks for talking to us.
My pleasure.